Show me a child by the age of 7, and I'll show you the man he becomes. That's a semi-quote from one of the Greek philosophers. And while it sounds wonderful and has a lot of truth to it, it is also not entirely accurate. If you want to dive into this a little bit more, stick around. My name's Deb. I spell that with 2 B's, and I am a human sharing my experiences to help you gain confidence in yours. I'm posting on here a minimum of 3 times a week. Comment below for anything that you might want a response to or want me to dive into on one of these videos. These videos are unscripted, and a lot of time I just hit play and see what comes up. So here we are. Today I actually want to talk about step 1 of 3-step framework to life coaching yourself. No one wants to go to therapy forever. No one wants to pour in tons of money into mentors all the time. So what is the next best solution? Learning how to mentor yourself. Learning how to be your own life coach. Learning the framework to keep leveling up. Life is definitely not linear, it's a spiral. Time isn't real, so there's that. Yes, we age and there's the sun that's happening all the time, but have you ever just had such a fun day where time either stood still and it lasted forever, or time went by really fast? You're like, wow, time flies while you're having fun. And so life is a spiral, and you're always going to come back to lessons and patterns. Life is made of patterns until we learn the lesson. And having the framework to guide yourself through those continuously will give you the confidence that you need to not feel like you have to constantly outsource information, constantly outsource validation that what your intuition and self-knowledge knows. You know the answers. Everything that you have, want, or need is already within you, because you were made in the image of God. And we are here to co-create in this video game anything that we please. Most of us are too afraid to take what's ours. And that's where I come in. I want to help you learn the framework to become your greatest superhuman. To be able to hit rock bottom and have the confidence to allow that emotion and experience to be felt in its fullness, allowing it to go as deep as your soul needs it to go, and yet still knowing that you're going to come out on the other side. Even if it does result in the absolute worst, whatever the worst for you may be, I'm not going to dive into that. But I want you to just understand how good it feels to feel so safe in your own personal knowing. And you can. There's a framework for it. I started this video with the quote of, show me a man by the age of, or show me a child at the age of 7 and I'll show you the man. And they say that because so much programming and conditioning happens within our environment, within those first developmental years, that it will affect us for the rest of our life. And most of it is subconscious. Just do this quick little exercise. Can you even remember being 7 years old? Can you remember ages 0 to 7? What's the earliest memory that you have? Is it 7? Is it 5? Is it 3? Can you remember your diaper being changed pre-1 years old? Can you remember breastfeeding? How much of your life pre-7 do you remember? Because also, if you don't remember, how much of it is in there subconsciously controlling your beliefs, controlling your values, controlling how you think, act, react, behave, how you speak, how you eat, how you trust your body to move and to feel, the things that you think are possible, either within a box or outside of the box. Just realize I'm taking the effort to hold up the microphone and I'm probably not even holding it close enough. So there's so much that happens in those previous years that we don't even think about. And step one of framework is self-awareness and reflection. And that starts at the beginning, age 0 to 7. The framework starts at the beginning. Recognize the self-awareness. Reflect on what that means for you. What does it mean for your beliefs? What does it mean for your habits? And if you're over 40, it's probably a mess. The younger generations aren't going to have to worry about this as much because they have the internet. And the internet shows them that everything is possible. And it allows them to have any information they want at their fingertips. When I was 15 years old and I didn't want to believe in the LDS religion anymore, and the only thing that I could remotely find was something called Wicca, and that was because I saw a book at a store, and it wasn't even a book about Wicca, it was a book about other stores that could tell me about Wicca. Like, information wasn't available. We were in boxes by people that were coming out of generations of war, generations of the Great Depression, generations of slavery and racism. People over 40, I see you, all right? The people that raised us didn't know any better. And I know my years 0 to 7, I can't think back that far really, but I remember a timeline where I felt close to my father and then I didn't feel close to my father. And I was lucky enough that during the times that, and I mean my father, they had 5 kids and he was working full time with 1 vehicle. Imagine that life. Like, that's a hard life to be able to shoulder that much responsibility as a man. And luckily I had a lot of brothers that were able to fill in gaps to give me male role models. And as nice as that family dynamic kind of was, there were definitely subconscious things that probably went haywire. I'm obviously looking at my behavior and patterns with men and diving into the framework of the environment that we're in is step 1. And we can do that, right? If we want to move forward in life, if you desire personal growth, which is a paradox in itself, because the first step to self-growth is fully accepting and loving where you are without the desire to change anything. You don't need to change anything about you. But you also don't want to stay stagnant. And you also want to have fun with this video game in exploring what's possible for you. You want to push yourself to the limits of what you're capable of because it's fun and because you can, because that's what we're here to do, is to co-create to our greatest expansion. Nature just expands until it doesn't. And then we return to source. So if personal growth is your desire, I say step 1 is going back to the foundation, but step 1 is accepting where you are and loving yourself fully. Knowing you don't need to change, but you want to change. Maybe you can love yourself without the change. Crazy paradox, I know. So step 1, self-awareness and reflection. So show me a child by the age of 7 and I will show you a man. Completely accurate. But show me a man that can talk to his 7-year-old self and I will show you a man that can change. Because a man with self-awareness and reflection is a very powerful human. Once you understand your beliefs, you can ask whether you want to subscribe to those beliefs. Once you understand what is driving your habits and your foundational mindsets, you can ask yourself if you want to continue to play that avatar in that video game. And after reflecting on that, you can build on what you know your strengths are, and you can look for areas of growth, and that can lead to step 2. Goal setting and visual creation. And who doesn't want to get to goal setting and visual creation? That's the fun stuff, right? That's where we start moving things. But first, we got to stay in step one. We got to build our foundation, know what beliefs we have, determine if those are beliefs we want to continue with going forward, and then follow the rest of the framework. It's that easy. My name's Deb. I'm going to leave that there. I'm just a human sharing my experiences, helping you gain confidence in yours, using my decades of wisdom and expertise in many different categories and niches to just help everyone be their best selves. I know there's thousands of you out there resonating with these videos. If that's you, hit like, hit subscribe, leave comments. Let's get stoked for live sessions possibly. Get enough interest, I'll show up for it. Let's get some one-on-one things you have questions on. Let's see what answers come through. Much love. Cheers.